One chilly morning, a member of the animal shelter's team discovered a dog hiding under a parked car on his way to work. Recognizing the dog needed assistance, the man spoke softly, coaxing it to come out. However, the dog averted its gaze, displaying fear and discomfort. Understanding the dog's need for help, the staff member knelt down, assuring it that he was there to assist. Despite his efforts, the dog remained unresponsive, prompting the man to gently coax it out from under the car. The exhausted and hungry animal offered no resistance as the man carefully lifted it and placed it in the front seat of his car. Uncomfortable with close human contact, the dog quickly moved to the back seat, settling on the floor to remain out of sight. Upon arrival at the shelter, the dog sought refuge in a corner, whimpering softly. Despite the staff's attempts to engage the dog in play and provide toys, it showed no interest. The staff deduced that the dog's lack of responsiveness indicated a difficult past, leading them to believe that it had endured significant hardships. After several days at the shelter without showing signs of improvement, the dog fell ill with an infection, further complicating his condition. Despite receiving treatment, his health continued to decline, marked by rapid weight loss. Concerned for his well-being, the shelter staff decided to seek specialized care and took him to a veterinary clinic. Upon arrival at the clinic, the dog's fear was palpable as he retreated to a corner, his eyes reflecting anxiety. Dr. Thomas, the attending vet, observed the dog's behavior and recognized his deep emotional distress, likely stemming from past mistreatment. Understanding the importance of establishing trust, Dr. Thomas began to interact with the dog regularly, speaking to him softly and spending time in his presence. As days passed, the dog's health gradually improved, albeit with a continued aversion to human interaction, preferring to remain in his corner. Despite this, Dr. Thomas saw progress in the dog's recovery, recognizing that his approach was yielding positive results. One day, Dr. Thomas decided to entice the dog out of his corner by holding a bowl of treats a few meters away. He wanted to encourage the dog to explore and engage with the world around him. With patience, he held out the bowl as an invitation, allowing the dog to feel in control and offering the treats as a tasty incentive. As the dog cautiously approached, lured by the delicious scent, he tentatively emerged from his hiding place. The vet spoke gently to him, and although the dog only ate a few treats before retreating, Dr. Thomas understood that progress would take time. Meanwhile, Dr. Thomas learned more about the dog's past. The dog's owner had recently passed away, leaving him in the care of family members who had mistreated him. They had confined him to a cage, starved him, and were frustrated by his withdrawn and restless behavior. They failed to understand his grief and longing for his deceased owner, focusing only on his perceived disobedience. After learning of the family's cruel abandonment of the dog, Dr. Thomas decided to approach the dog's healing differently. He entered the room where the dog stayed and slowly approached him. The dog had grown accustomed to the vet's presence and scent, so he was somewhat at ease around him. Dr. Thomas knelt down in front of the dog and began to sing a soft, emotional song. The melody filled the room, creating a peaceful and calming atmosphere. To everyone's amazement, the dog, who had been hiding in the corner, started to come out. He slowly made his way to sit beside the vet, letting out a soft sigh and gently wagging his tail. For the first time, the dog's eyes sparkled with a hint of joy. Sensing that the dog needed more than just a song, Dr. Thomas stood up and embraced the trembling dog. The hug was filled with comfort and reassurance, giving the dog a sense of safety he hadn't felt in a long time. The bond that formed between the vet and the dog surprised everyone at the clinic. Under the care of Dr. Thomas, the dog underwent a remarkable transformation. From being timid and withdrawn, he grew playful and started interacting with other animals at the clinic. As their bond deepened, Dr. Thomas realized he couldn't bear to see the dog go back to the shelter, especially after all the progress they had made together. Deciding to adopt the dog himself, Dr. Thomas ensured that they could continue their journey of healing and companionship. This decision provided the dog with a loving and stable home, freed from the emotional trauma of his past, and guaranteed that their bond would remain unbroken.